More than 500,000 undocumented immigrants live in New York City, and government officials have worked to protect many of them from deportation. Now the City Council is redoubling its efforts. On Wednesday, it will hold a hearing to debate 9 bills aimed at expanding protections. The city's undocumented immigrants, as well as Muslims and residents who are gay, bisexual, or transgender. In 2014, the City Council made New York one of the first cities to enact local laws limiting cooperation with federal immigration enforcement officials in the detention of undocumented immigrants. The laws prohibited the police and correction departments from holding inmates for release until the enforcement agency, known as ICE, could collect them. The two departments could hold detainees for ICE only after receiving a warrant from a judge, and only those who committed a violent and serious crime within the previous 5 years. Those policies were behind the war of words between the Trump administration and New York City officials over its so-called sanctuary city status. When Attorney General Jeff Sessions asserted that New York was soft on crime, Mayor Bill de Blasio and Police Commissioner James P. O'Neill forcefully rejected that idea, and the Attorney General backpedaled. The administration was dealt another blow on Tuesday. In a Jan. 25 executive order, President Trump threatened to withhold federal funding from cities, refused to cooperate with immigration officials, but a federal judge blocked portion of the order with a temporary injunction, holds nationwide. With the matter proceeding in court, the City Council looked to bolster its laws. This is how we respond, with legislative fixes, through a public hearing process, said Councilman Carlos Menchaca, Democrat of Brooklyn, the chairman of the Immigration Committee. These bills represent the continued outcry of support that our residents are asking for. The new bills appear to have wide support. One of them extends the policy of not honoring ICE requests to the probation department. Another would have people arrested for disorderly conduct serve only up to 5 days in jail, rather than the current 15 days. 5 days is the maximum time such an arrest record can disqualify undocumented immigrants from getting certain forms of relief, would let them stay in the country. The proposed law follows on an announcement this week by Brooklyn's acting district attorney, Eric Gonzalez, that his office would seek alternative prosecutions for immigrants, would not affect their immigration status. His is the first such office in the city to do so. Council members said they had learned from a protracted court fight in Staten Island over releasing personal information related to the Municipal Identification Card program, in which the city prevailed in state Supreme Court, though the decision has been appealed. Another of the bills being proposed on Wednesday restricts city agencies like the Human Resources Administration from sharing personal information absent a subpoena. The measure would require that all personal information, including address, sexual orientation, race, and religion, be kept confidential. The new reality is giving us a sense of urgency, making sure that we are covered to the extent we can, Melissa Mark-Viverito, a Manhattan Democrat who is the council speaker, said in an interview before the hearing. We're not trying to frustrate the federal government. We're just trying to define ourselves based on our experience on the ground when we will assist. Also part of his January executive order, President Trump called for expansion of a program authorizes local authorities to serve as immigration enforcement officers to arrest undocumented immigrants who threaten the community. Mayor de Blasio, a Democrat, definitively ruled this out in January. Another city council bill specifically prohibits this, with an eye toward future city administrations. On Tuesday, Mr. de Blasio signed a law to punish providers of legal services who defraud immigrants. California has declared itself a sanctuary state, but in Albany, bills protecting immigrant rights have been slow to progress. The council hearing seemed a positive step to local immigrant activists. I think it's helping make the wall between the Trump administration and New York City a little thicker, said Stephen Choi, the executive director of the New York Immigration Coalition. It gives more tools to New York City to push back and stop enforcements as much as possible. In almost every case, the bills add to existing laws or policies from individual city agencies. The city's education department issued guidance in March to principals and parents stating that ICE is not allowed in schools, and that student information will not be released to immigration authorities. A new bill ensures the department will distribute to all students information about the rights they and their parents have in their interactions with federal immigration authorities. Two other bills would add resources to the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs. At a time when the Department of Justice is trying to expand its scope of people who it will go after, Mr. Choi said, these are common sense reforms.